People of the internet, Joe Rogan has just reignited the feud with Marc Maron, and at the same time called out comedy commentary podcasts. And today I'm going to show you why this conversation is really dangerous and is just putting more fire to the Marc Maron feud. Let's go.
I'm afraid of that for you.
Yeah, that's true in some ways, but it's also benefits you in some ways too. It's like there's good and bad. Like there's little things that you'll say that are funny that make it into clips, and that's good too. It's like the thing. Like I was talking to Tony about this because we were talking about people that complain about his show and talk shit about his show. I go, dude, they work.
Wait, I thought you guys didn't watch that stuff or read the comments, right? I didn't think you did that, but watch how Joe Rogan changes his tune. He must be watching my videos because he's saying who cares, right? He's gonna say who cares instead of his own. They're not successful, they hate themselves, they're mentally ill, they're pathological liars. That is what he said before. Listen to this right here.
For you. They don't realize it, but they work for you. They're the publicity arm, the negative publicity arm for the Kill Tony show. You don't worry about it and don't care.
Yeah.
You can't,
Write a book on that. Teach me how to not care.
You just got to get to a point where you don't have to care anymore. Like, it's not going to affect you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's not true because you lost half of your followers and your numbers are still going down. At some point, you do care because you know about it. And if you didn't care, you wouldn't know about it. That is the point. Joe Rogan is changing his tune because just like a week or two ago with Andrew Schultz, he was complaining and calling everyone basically losers that don't have a life and hate themselves. And now Joe Rogan is pretending like he's above it. If you were above it, you wouldn't be talking about it on your show. And Joe Rogan, you care. You have to care, Joe Rogan. Because your show is in a free fall. Your reputation is a free fall. You're soon to be almost as hated as some of the most hated people on this planet. You need to care, Joe.
But if you're in that position where I'm in that kind of sort of, you're not totally ever in that position, but you're much more in that position than the average person. It's your duty to not care. It's your duty to set an example and to say, look, you're supposed to be, when you get to the top, you're not supposed to be mean and like defend it and push everybody down. You're supposed to lift everybody up and be what you would hope the guy at the top would be.
Joe, you haven't done that because you put everybody down. Any of your critics, you criticize, you call them every single insult that you're allowed to say on the air, right? Joe, what happened? It's only been 2 weeks and you came back from a yoga retreat and your shit's all centered. What's going on here? Joe knows. He says it's good publicity, but what we're doing here really isn't good publicity. Because even if you're, like a slow Rogan Sphere fan or like a person that fell on their head and ended up being a Kill Tony fan, even you can understand what we're saying here. You can't. The thing is Joe is trying to repair his reputation right now by flipping the script and being like, "Oh, we gotta be zen and shit." Come on now, Joe. Come on, Joe. We got this shit on tape, buddy.
Be supportive, try to help other people's careers, try to promote them, tell everybody how cool they are, tell everybody how funny they are, tell everybody good things that you know. Instead of complaining all the time about everything, find cool shit and inform people about it.
Wait, why is it complaining if we don't like your shit? But when you don't like something, you can critique it. You see, whenever anybody hears something that doesn't agree with their philosophy, it's complaining, it's wrong. They come up with all these words to try and make you feel bad for having your own opinion. Joe, I'm not complaining. I am stating my opinion. And I am stating my distaste for you, my distaste to what you've done for this country, my distaste of what you've made out of those men that, I have a strong distaste for it. We need better. My distaste for you claiming comedy when you can't even get a fucking special above a 5, my brother. Come on, Joe. You can't try to be nice and then spin it as like we don't have fucking opinions that are valid enough above to register above complaining. You can't do that. You can't dismiss us like that, Joe. We won't go away. We're like rats.
People, cool shit that you've seen, cool restaurants you've been to, cool music you've listened to.
I don't want to talk about
cool
food.
People you met. Do that. That's what I try to do. And that's my...
Bro, we love reality TV over here at Line Meows, my friends. We love to stand up and rally against shit that is bad for people. And that's what we're doing, Joe. I don't want to talk about food. I don't want to sit there and have you watch me eat while I'm live streaming so you can tip me because it's, I'm not mukbanging it up, Joe. I don't want to go to the mall and take you with me while I look for socks, I don't want to talk about cars. I don't want to talk about nothing. I want to talk about this shit, Joe. Why is it that people deem on the internet what is creative and what is not? And why is it always the people that don't do shit that want to judge your creativity? This is just, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And Joe is always trying to put somebody down. He's trying to mask it in a disguise of let's be friends and promote everybody instead of them fucking loser complainers. Get the fuck out of here, Joe.
That is my obligation, I think, as in having the top podcast. You have to set an example that's beneficial for not just me, but for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like set an example to divide the country by becoming a hotly contested political show as before you're pretending to be an everyman. Provide an example by selling yourself out to the corporate machine and being a total hypocrite and end up promoting all the shit you said you weren't promoting. Set an example by promoting so many goddamn gambling ads that you contributed to building the gambling epidemic in America. Set an example by putting out a really terrible special, so bad in fact that thousands and thousands of people rated it one of the lowest comedy specials of all time. Set an example what, Joe? What example do I need to set? Joe, you've set so many examples. I'm supposed to follow your example. Do you see the hypocrisy in this? He doesn't practice what he preaches, ever. The only thing he's loyal to is money, power, and his steroid shots. Outside of that, he's up for sale. I just can't believe he just comes on here and lies all the fucking time. It's unbelievable. He'll say one thing like he didn't record it and post it on his YouTube page, and then the next day he'll be like, fuck that shit. No, man, I never said that. We're all Zen motherfuckers now. I just cannot believe how much of a car salesman this fucking guy is. You know what, Joe? You know what? I bet you could sell the shit out of those candy bars they gave us in elementary school that were like fucking bricks, and they came in them little white boxes, and they had the white packaging with the silver wrapper, and you had to sell them shits for $1 door to door. I bet Joe, because he done conned everyone in the neighborhood, telling him this was the best candy ever. Just like his comedy.
And don't care. And don't care as much. Don't care as much about haters. If you're going to have haters, the idea that you're not going to have people that hate you is crazy. Fucking, you could get like one of the things that I know from MMA. The greatest fighters, the best guys in their prime. There's going to be guys coming up that say he ain't shit. I'll fuck him up. I'll take him out in one round. There's always that. He's got no defense. He's got no chin. He's got no heart. He's only good when he's winning. As soon as it gets turned on him, he's going to fold. There's always someone talking. And if you live your life constantly responding to those people, it's a waste of that 100. Right? That 100.
See, you could tell he's not the truth because sometimes it feels good to shit on those people and then ban them. See, you could tell he's lying just like that. Sometimes I get in the mood and I blah, 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 and then ban them so they can't respond, and forever I have the last word. He won't even tell the truth about that. He's a lying ass motherfucker. Check this out. This is what Joe's doing. This guy's bouncing around. And you'll see with people that bouncing around trying to fish, he's out there looking for validation. He's saying this shit to convince himself. How do you know that? Because he wasn't saying this shit 2 weeks ago when him and Andrew Schultz were having a little bitch fest. And he's talking like, oh, it doesn't matter. He's looking for his own validation. He's looking for validation by feeling comfortable and empowered by saying, I don't care, right? He's trying to do that. And he's also looking for confirmation and validation from Jeff Dye on this whole subject. And people are wondering, well, what does this have to do with Marc Maron? We're getting to that. Now, hold on. Let's finish. Let's hear him out on this, because this is going out to you guys. You guys are saying this is not comedy. We want better. Get these fucking dudes off the stage. You're the ones. It's not just me. You guys. He's talking to all of us like we're just some punks with no valid opinions.
100 units of attention and focus that you have, you got to protect that.
Yeah.
You got to guard that 100 units, man. Don't let anybody steal your units with a comment on YouTube.
It's never in real life for me.
Right.
It's never in real life.
Well, that's the problem.
I have to
like,
open this shit.
Yeah.
Before I spiral out. Even in my town of Los Angeles, people go, "Why you had this fucking dump?" And then I'm walking around in Sherman Oaks. I've got my coffee. I'm seeing dogs. I'm seeing hot chicks. And then my barista's like, "Hey, what's up, Jeff?" Like, I'm friends with
beautiful weather.
Yeah, wherever I go, like, because I go to the same spots and I talk to everyone. So like, I've accumulated all these people who go, "Oh, we know that comedian's the best," or whatever. Like in my little community. But then I turn on my phone. You seen this Obama Babadoumi guy? He's a Muslim. He's gonna ruin New York. And then I start going, yeah. What the hell's going on with this?
I think New York is due for a little socialist wake-up call.
Oh yeah, they'll wake up. These things balance.
They're gonna have 5,000 police officers have threatened to resign.
Don't you think New York kind of deserves
true? Is that true? Find out if that number's true. Because
oh, there he is, criticizing New York. Just after. Now, let's get to the Marc Maron part. Now, why is this conversation more fuel on the fire? Well, the answer is Jeff Dye, and most of you don't know Jeff Dye, and neither did I before this, because, he's another great comedian that, nobody thinks about. Now, moving on, Jeff Dye recently went on the Howie Mondale podcast, and you ask, what did Mr. Dye want to talk about? Well. This was this week. Well. This was this week. And Joe had him on too, which is a little punch in the gut to...
Marc Maron was here, and Marc Maron is getting a lot of kickback for his views.
That's how it goes.
Which aren't positive.
I thought it was funny that you asked him, you said, like, you've had problems with comedians. I think that's how you phrased it.
Yeah.
And then he, instead of going through the library of comics that he's had problems with, immediately he goes, I don't think so. I mean, there was this one guy talking shit, Jeff Dye. I was like, what do you, we're starting at me? Like, you had a whole podcast dedicated. Like, WTF was originally supposed to be him going like, hey, how have I wronged you? Like, let's work through it, bud. Like, kind of making amends. But he didn't think of any of those scenarios. He immediately went to a guy that he didn't even know the name of, allegedly, until like a week ago. A week before it.
I think that's because, and one of the reasons he brought that up, did he post or did you post on Instagram? You ran into him in the hall at the Comedy Store in the back.
I posted that we buried it. That things were good. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, and that's what fascinated me.
Sure.
That's what I brought.
That's the story we should be telling.
But I didn't know there was a fight. So I just saw, and the way you posted it, you said you were burying the hatchet, and I think I was trying to insinuate what was the hatchet.
Oh, yeah. So maybe he knew you were talking about that.
I didn't tell him that, but that was the thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is before, he was promoting his special, and
now he's just going after everyone. It's crazy.
Austin and all those other
I don't know
people.
why.
You see why that podcast was so dangerous. is because Joe Rogan is a sneaky motherfucker. Just recently, Marc Maron got into a beef with Jeff Dye again over an old beef, I think. I think that's how it's going at this point. It was an old beef that they thought they buried, and it got reignited in another interview. And here we are again with drama for Marc Maron. Now, Joe, being a grudge-holding, sneaky-ass motherfucker, knew that this Jeff Dye, Marc Maron beef had been reignited, and Joe brings old Jeff Dye right on the show, and then he does that whole speech telling us we don't matter and he don't care no more, and he's just shoving it in Joe's face that, look, the guy that you're in a beef with now, he's on my side, motherfucker. But let's hear more about this beef.
Why he'd choose to do that. I thought that was a good story and a true story, is that, like, I also took a lot of responsibility in that post and just in my own life, where it's like, I was aware that any problem I had with Mark, he didn't care about, and it had nothing to do with me and probably wasn't personal, and it was my shit.
What? I have no idea what it was.
It was just when I
School me.
was young, I looked up to him, and he was very rude to me. That's the whole story.
But
and
you said that publicly?
Oh yeah, and I held on to it for 15 years because I like, more of my comedy is more of like finding like a double standard in something.
Right.
And I thought it was interesting as a fan of Marc Maron and listening to WTF, he would often contradict himself, or there'd be some sort of double standard of, like, he would like meet some rock star and then be like, that guy was an asshole to me, and I'm like, yeah, doesn't that disappoint?
What happened to you? What was your exact? What
The
happened?
exact thing was that I was a open micer at Giggles, and he was the headliner that came through in Seattle, Washington, and this is probably 2005.
Okay.
I mean, a long time ago, and that's all it was. It just didn't go the way I.
Yo, I don't know if you noticed this, but I do. Do you see Howie Mandel and this chick? Look at her eyes. You see these blue bottles down here? This is Feel Free. And you know what's absolutely hilarious about this morning? When I game in the mornings, is generally when I have time. When I was gaming this morning, I had a documentary about those on. Somebody was like, this bottle got me addicted. And it was like the only thing in my algorithm that I wanted to watch, and it was new, because you know the algorithm just pours you the same content all the time. And so I clicked on it, and I learned about these Feel Frees. These two right here are high as fuck on kratom. Isn't that crazy? And that's like, I think the blue bottle with the gold cap is like the kratom and kava. I don't know if you've ever been to kava bars, but they're big in Florida, and people get there and you can get all. So they got like two things that get them real high. Anyways, I just watched a thing on that company and how like cities and stuff have been flipping out about it. I just thought it was funny in my clip. Holy shit. But it's funny. Look at her. She just sitting there like, I can't feel my eyeballs. Dude, I tell you, the older you get, the more you see people fucked up all the time. People on drugs at their job, people on drugs out there at the movies. You know, people are always on drugs. Everywhere you go, people be lying about, now you know how many people high at work? Come on now, on all shit.
Wanted it to go.
You went up to him?
Oh, so I was one of the opening comedians. I was terrible. I probably had no business doing a weekend, but I was like an open micer and like hungry and excited. I'm not going to tell them no. They asked me to open. I go, yeah. So, he was complaining to us initially about how he's done Conan O'Brien X amount of times and he just can't get, he can't turn the corner or whatever. And I thought it'd be funny. I go, you're complaining to a bunch of open micers. Like, we would sell our arm to be on Conan O'Brien. And, like, he didn't like that. So I was like, all right, strike one.
How do you know he didn't like that? What did he
He said, like, a mean thing back to me. Like, I can't recall the exact words, but he's, like, snapped at me.
You think he was just trying to be funny and maybe you're misinterpreting?
Maybe. I was a dumb kid. Yeah,
right.
So possibly, sure. But it wasn't misconstrued as him being nice. It was very him snapping at me.
Right.
Either whether
but that's his thing.
Yeah, and he's a grump, and I get it. And so then another thing happened that was just verbal, like a quick exchange, and I was like, oh, strike two with Mark. And then when I got on stage, I was actually having a good set because his audience is fantastic, and it was like sold out, and I'm used to performing for like 10 friends at an open mic. So I was doing pretty well. And the owner or someone said to Mark, like, or at least in earshot of Mark, like, Jeff Dye's killing. And so while I'm on stage, he pops his head in, and then when he comes back out, he says a snide remark about my comedy to the other comics. And then when I got off stage, comics gossip, we talk, so he said, oh, you know what Mark said about you? And I held on to that for a really long time. That's okay. You're allowed to do whatever you want. Even when I was telling the story to Bert, I was like, I just wanted him to like me. Like,
this guy just seems like a psycho. Like I'll make a mental note, like, don't fuck with that dude. That dude's crazy, something like that. But I ain't holding on to shit for years, like over a comment. There's shit to hold on to. I ain't above holding on to some shit. But just some comment at a comedy club, like at most I'd make a mental note, like, that dude's a dick, stay away from him. You know what I mean? Don't talk to him. That's what you do. Like, you don't jive with everybody. But why is this guy? And now he's on a podcast. This is he's following the pattern of the Rogan sphere about spilling out all the drama on a podcast. Harry Mandel don't give a shit about none of it except for the content and the views, because he knows people like us are going to watch it, spread this episode. Everybody's going to chop it and clip it. They know this. And Harry Mandel's like, go on. Go ahead. What? Tell us everything you need. All the details. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And now Joe is using Jeff Dye to come on his show. The same week this drama gets ignited, the same week he was complaining about shit in comedy, and now he's using Jeff Dye like, hey, motherfucker, Marc Maron, what you gonna do, bitch? Do you see the games they're playing? And this is so like, and the funny thing like this is so corporate. Like, you might have a problem, with your boss or something, and the boss just don't say anything, and then the next day you come in, and your arch nemesis is now in charge of you. That's this kind of shit right here.
I feel like there's so much misinterpretation of, like, sometimes you just want to be included, or sometimes you just want to...
Especially us.
Yeah.
The fact that we are willing or have the need to stand up in front of a group of strangers and try to tickle them and elicit laughter. It's like we have a need that... It'd be nice to not have this need.
But it's okay. Like, it's like when you leave your house in the morning, no matter what you are, you just kind of hope the day goes good. You hope no one fucks with you. You hope that, like, you can have a peaceful day. And so, like, people forget that about comics, because I'll say political things, or I'll say, like, a salacious joke, or seems like I have an extreme opinion. But if you just met me, you'd be like, Jeff's pretty nice, and he's like a harmless guy. So
I couldn't listen to this guy talk. He kind of gives me the chills. And him willingly having the sling blade haircut kind of creeps me out too. And not to mention all that Zen fucking spit in his mouth. If you go on a podcast, take the fucking Zens out of your mouth. Take them out. That constant slurping and readjusting your saliva ratio in your mouth because of fucking Zens. You could see him right in the front there. And so we got to listen to his spit from the Zens the whole time. God damn. This guy, look, I don't know Jeff Dye from Adams, but he comes off as like, his voice too. Oh yeah, murder is okay. It's just a thing. We're people, if you want to go over there and do a little unaliving, it's okay. That's just how it goes, but I just wanted to be accepted, and I put a knife in your chest. He's pulling off some, like, third-ranked Dexter guy too. This guy's creeping me out.
I just think that all got kind of lost.
But that's 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Joe Rogan, Marc Maron feud is getting started up again. This feud that has been going on for over a decade is creating a new chapter as we speak. It is incredible. truly incredible. And I am glad I am here with you to participate. Go check out my Patreon. Go share. Please share these videos. Share them all over the place. Post them in the edgelord hell called Reddit. Make them angry, and they'll probably take them down. None of my videos last on Reddit. Reddit hates me. It's okay, though. I'm cool with it. And just like Rogan, I don't care.